We live on the tube in 3, 2, 2.5, 1.5. We live on the tube.
Let's do it.
Tube, what up? And we ain't muted either.
What's going on? Let's do it. Welcome back.
Tube, what up? What up? What up?
Welcome back.
Let's get the show started.
Yes, let's get it going.
We here?
We're live.
Let's see. We got the Ernest piling in. What's going on? Wait a minute. This looks different.
We got a surprise.
Surprise.
We got a surprise.
Yes. I am human. I do travel. Last year I did, but
yeah.
The bros here.
Let me put this on the gram. Make sure
we ain't even had to invite him in. He's here with us, y'all. Even better. No. We even gonna put that out there. I'm going left-handed today. Yeah. Everybody, what's going on? Hopefully you have made it here safe to Market Mondays. The number one, the big show. Mike said, my man Mike said the only show. We going with that now.
I received that.
The only show. And so we are happy to have you here this evening. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. And we greatly appreciate that from the bottom of our hearts. It's going to be a big show. It's been a big day. I know people was waking up early this morning like, is this real? Like,
Apple on fire.
Apple's on fire.
It fell apart.
Yeah.
Microsoft,
like the first half an hour, then the next hour it was like
no. It was.
I tried to tell y'all.
Everything changed. Nothing was the same. That's why we're here, man. That's why we're here to provide information and hopefully open your mind to some things that you didn't know.
It's a nice studio, man.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, nice
1500 on the wake up.
Yeah. We're gonna put on the show. When we get to 10 grand, we'll do something nice. So tag 5 friends, tell 5 friends, come through. I want to do something special for y'all if we get to 10,000 live. So it's up to y'all.
So we watching that count. We watching that count.
Yeah, let's do it. I can't see the live chat for some reason.
Yeah, I can't see the live chat.
On YouTube?
Yeah. So with that,
we got some other special guests in the house with us tonight. A few others.
What's up with the live chat situation?
Oh no, did they dead us on it? Let me check. Let me see if I log in.
Yeah. Glorious day. Greetings and salutations to everybody. Hope everybody out there is doing well. Mike, if you're listening, can you try to figure out the live chat, why the live chat's not showing? MG, can you leave a comment just to see if the live chat's actually on or not?
Anything? Yeah, I don't see it over here.
No, it must be turned off.
Yeah, I think you're right there, bro.
Huh? All right. The show must go on.
Tube, I don't know what's going on. Why they doing this to us?
Yeah, it's always something, man. But
YouTube, I love y'all though.
Regardless of anything, the show must go on. So yes, welcome back to another edition of Market Mondays. This is the first time ever in the history of Market Mondays that all 3 of us are in person. You always see me and Troy together, obviously, but Ian obviously is not with us. He's with us via Zoom. So we talked, and he was saying that one of the things that he really wanted to do this year in 2021 was to try to do at least once a month, us actually get together and do it in person. I think it's good for the just to feel the camaraderie and just the chemistry of it. So this is the first. Hopefully it won't be the last. This is the first live Market Mondays with all of us in the building. So first and foremost, welcome. Welcome.
Appreciate
Welcome
it.
to the new
town.
It's cold out here, man. I'll be attacked. I'm like, I see why everybody in New York got an attitude. That hawk hit me when I came out the airport. I'm like,
that hawk different.
Can't do it.
Yeah. Last time you were here, we were shooting that legendary episode 70, man. And it's the same vibes when you walked in. It was like, yo, what's good, bro? And he came bearing gifts again.
I appreciate
This is a good man. This is a good man.
I appreciate y'all. It's the least I can do. Yeah. My grandma and mom and dad taught me well, so
somebody raised them with sense.
All right, the live comments is back. It was weird, man.
YouTube was popping.
It was weird not to see the live comments. So all right, okay. So now we got the live comments. What's going on, good brother? We got a live studio audience in here, man. Yeah. It's a whole vibe. It's a whole vibe, man. So without further ado, let's get into it. We'll give you the rundown of what we got going on for the week. We'll give you guidelines, and then we'll get into it. But first and foremost, shout out to Brian from Facebook. Yeah. Appreciate you.
Big one, he pulled up.
Shout out to MG, the mortgage guy who's in the building.
My guy.
Shout out to MG and shout out to Jury.
Very important.
Yeah, the plug
the real plug.
yeah, for sure. So this week we have a very exciting week for our Earn Your Leisure. We have shout out to 85. First and foremost, I hope everybody got a chance to check us out on 85 South Show. Us and the Bro Wall Street Trapper. We made an appearance on 85 South Show. That's out right now. So check it out on their YouTube. Run up the numbers on their YouTube. Listen to it on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to Chad. Shout out to the whole entire 85 South crew, man. Like them dudes is
special,
extremely solid.
Yeah, I don't think people really understand how talented these brothers are. Like their improv game is ridiculous, but their knowledge in so many different areas of not just comedy but the world. Like they watch and taking everything, and they're able to, at the drop of a dime, switch the topic, and it's incredible to watch it, and more incredible to be a part of it, man. So shout out to our bros.
We gotta get Ian's mic clear. They said his mic is low and not clear.
All right, talking to it.
Let me know if you guys can hear me now.
Put a 1 in the chat.
Yeah. Put a 1.
Shout out to my Red Panda fam. Let me know if I sound good.
Yeah. So yes. So we are running it back, a home and away, and Chad and Carlos are going to be on our podcast tomorrow. So 5:00 Eastern Standard Time, we're gonna have 85 South on. So shout out to them. And then Wednesday's the big one. We haven't announced this yet, but at the end of every month, we do an open enrollment for EYL University, which is open to the world to see, and that's on YouTube. And this week is a big week. We got none other than Marcus Barney, aka Him 500,
aka him, not them.
Him 500. That dude's on fire right now, man. He just did $1 million worth of game podcast. His numbers is running crazy on our podcast that we did with him a couple weeks ago, and he's heavy in the street. So we're gonna do a class on how to turn credit to cash. That's his thing, how to turn credit to cash. So he's going to do an EYL University class for us on how to turn credit to cash, and that's going to be on YouTube. So make sure you check that out. That's 8:00 on Wednesday. And also for EYL University, we talked to me and Troy. I do my financial planning calls every once a month, but we're going to start doing group calls. Me, Troy, Jamal, and kind of let people in on our group chat.
Everybody want to be part of the group
Everybody
chat.
always asks to be part of our group
time
chat.
has come.
So that's what we're gonna start doing that with EYL University as well. So what days?
Yeah.
Wednesday, like one Wednesday a month. For sure. So
the chart time or something.
Yeah, it's going. Because everybody always say like, how can I get in your group chat? How can I? And I'm like,
I won't let it.
So we're gonna have some investment talk. Like I said, I already kind of do something similar already on my financial planning call, but I try to encourage these guys to become more vocal. So I think that's gonna be dope. I'm excited about that. So we'll drop the link in here if you're interested in EYLU, 50% off of that. But let's get into it. Is Ian's mic good?
Yeah, I'm gonna just slide him over. Okay.
Y'all gave me the mic like I flop.
No, go ahead.
Good. All right.
I'll switch you out. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got to make sure he's right.
Yeah, make sure we're good. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, you can just get that to him. All right. Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Good talking to them.
Let me know if I'm good, y'all. I'm gonna put on the show.
Yeah, we got to make sure. We got to make sure everything is right. We can't play around with that.
They gave me, I won 20,000 first week, my
You should be good.
All right, bet.
We good?
Yeah.
Right,
Troy, first you want to go over the
yeah, I'm gonna do the guidelines. I'm gonna share the screen.
Okay.
We're gonna do the guidelines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying it's better now.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. First and foremost, let's get this disclaimer out the way. All right. Number one, do your own research. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. This is a message brought to you by the good folks at Earn Your Leisure and a good brother, Ian Dunlap, the master investor. Also, please, and we have to say this disclaimer because this has been happening to a lot of our audience. We are not soliciting any Bitcoin type of projects on YouTube. That is not us. Yeah. Please, we have reached out to YouTube. We've reached the good folks at Google. We're trying to rectify the situation. However, it seems to still be happening. That is not us. I know it's happening to Ian as well. That is not him. We are not trying to get you into Bitcoin via YouTube. Anything that you hear from us on Market Mondays is what we're giving to the world. So that's not us. Please, that is not us.
Financial literacy is under attack right now. And all of those scam pages on Instagram and YouTube, and the YouTube one is a little tricky because it'll have our name on it. But if you click the link, you'll see it has like 100 subscribers. It's not our page. Do not give anybody your personal information. We're not giving anybody $5,000. We're not giving anybody Bitcoin. We're not giving anybody our WhatsApp number. So don't fall victim to any scam page. Yes, please don't do that.
Let's rock and roll. Tonight's episode is called The Ultimate Secret. And I got a good surprise at the end. But once again, share with 5 of your friends because I want to get these numbers up so we can give away a couple of scholarships tonight. But I appreciate you guys for being here. So today's episode is sponsored by the Stock Club. Today will be the last day that you can have a Stock Club combo. So for those you know about it, take advantage of it. Once again, I want to emphasize to you that if you are in a financial place where it's not feasible, please don't do it. But if you want a competitive edge in the market, I'm here for you. Let's get right to it. Apple averaged $1 billion in revenue per day in the holiday quarter. If you have invested in Apple over the last 6 months, put Apple in chat. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. And hit an all-time high today. So Wall Street expects Apple to set a new milestone and hit 100 billion in holiday quarterly sales. Now, I'm not saying because of that, the earnings will be positive, but it's one of the main reasons I keep stressing to you guys to hold this company for a long period of time. I won't say everything that I know behind the scenes, but there's a reason that I've been beating this drum for a long period of time. And my other baby, Microsoft. You probably saw this on Rashad's page over the weekend, but Microsoft is investing and partnering with GM Cruise for self-driving cars. So now it's really about who is going to be number 2 and number 3. And GM wants that spot from NIO. So Tesla is the preeminent player there, but we are in a race to see who will be number 2 and number 3. So this is a key lesson, what I want you to know. If you guys are excited about electronic vehicles, what makes you think that the people who makes the technology behind it, they're not thinking about it as well and not wanting to profit off of it for the next 30 or 40 years? Once again, the top brands in the world want to have global domination in a bunch of markets, not just their particular space. Microsoft 20 years ago moved into the gaming field. Everyone thought they were crazy. Everyone thinks that they'll be crazy here. But with the technology and the amount of money that they have on hand, they can make a huge wave here. I've been talking about this era of ultra efficiency, and I want to talk to the men. So we helped you get a bag in 2020. But what good is the money if you don't have balance with your family, or if you get the bag and turn around and lose your family structure? So for the men, one day we're going to have this talk, but we have to protect, provide, love, and it's hard to balance. Any man that I talk to that is doing well, the biggest thing that they're struggling with is their work-life balance. This is a blueprint I want us to all focus on. 4 hours of family, 4 hours of laser focused work, 4 hours of play, and 4 hours of fun. No matter how much money you get, if you lose the people that you care about, it's not going to make a difference to you. So I want you to keep in perspective, while you're getting this money and the market is running up, focus on these other areas, because health and time with your family is true wealth. The 4 things for more peace. So I need you to write down the 5 people that bring you, just the 5 people that piss you off the most. You have to eliminate them out your life. Write down the 5 people who bring you the most joy and spend more time with them. Then I want you to write down the 5 hobbies that will bring you more joy and give you a lot of happiness. And then you have to write down the things or places that disturb your peace and eliminate those. As you get older, life becomes a lot more simple. It's really about the people that you're around, the friends you have, the quality time and the activities that you do. But one of the main reasons that people lack peace is the people that are in your inner circle. So I want you to do a heat check tonight and see who may need to go on the sidelines to bring you more joy this year. And one thing I want to stress more for us to have a lot more balance, because let's be real, this COVID thing is not going to get any easier, and it potentially could last another 3 to 4 years if it does not get under control. I want you to start meditating for 1 hour per day. I define meditation as the art of clearing the bullshit out of your life and allowing your soul to have peace. I promise you, if you do this for like 30 days, you'll have a lot more happiness in your life. So let's get to it. The 17 main asset classes that you can invest in. Investing is easy once you follow a blueprint, but you have common stock, you have preferred, you have convertibles, which we'll talk about more later in the year, and I'm hoping to have an expert on with us. Private equity, you have the U.S. government bond, corporate bond, municipal bonds, convertible bonds, you have T-bills, saving accounts, CDs, you have mortgage-backed securities, you have real estate, which is residential and commercial, commodities, your own business, which is the most important thing for you to invest in, and then collectibles. Out of this list of 17, I want you to screenshot this now and pick the 5 that you're going to have in your portfolio. So I'll give you another 2 or 3 seconds, but put 5 out of these 17 so you can have your own competitive moat. Now I'm going to say this one time. So remember when Leroy died last year because it hurts? So he just got out of his margin call coma, right? And so he want to say, please stop it with the GameStop bullshit.
Leroy back.
Listen, I know some of you were so happy that GameStop went up, right? And because of Wall Street Bets and the Reddit community, they're driving that market up. I'm going to be real. If you're a gamer, when's the last time you've been at GameStop and there was 25 people in there? Next, y'all going to be like, yo, Blockbuster's coming back. Stop it with the bullshit, man. Like, if you got in the trade, I'm happy for you. You should have taken profit. But anytime we have something that runs up 51%, then 60, and then goes into the high hundreds and falls back to 60 in one day, not a good investment. It's a good trade, but not a good investment. Leave GameStop alone. And for those of you who got the message on Twitter, kudos to you that got in on the puts. But these are the best gaming companies to invest in. So for those of you who are like, man, they don't ever tell you which ones to get in. Activision is absolutely amazing. Electronic Arts, Take-Two Interactive. 4th is Nintendo. The ticker is NTDOY. And the 5th is Zynga. I don't love Zynga the most. That's why it's 5th. But the first 4 I love a lot. So
can you say those again?
Activision.
Pay attention, people. This is some good game right here.
Electronic Arts, Take-Two Interactive, and Nintendo.
Take-Two is a big one.
Yep. So I want you guys to write in chat, what are the 2 biggest games on Activision and what are the 2 biggest games on EA? For those of you that have been playing Madden since 94.
Yeah, about to say Madden.
You should know.
Activision Blizzard, y'all. ATVI.
It's amazing. You guys keep asking, what are the hottest sectors to invest in? Once again, tech, healthcare, biotech. I want to give you guys a tip during a recession. Whatever industry caused the pullback or the drop or is greatest affected by it, those are the industries that you should look into. So we have a healthcare crisis. So now we have to look at healthcare companies in the health sector that can help. So Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, etc. There's a few others that you guys can look into. Also, one that I've talked about before, for those of you that work in the hospital field, Stryker is amazing. We've been in that one for a while. But please write this down. So if we ever get into a student loan crisis, we need to look at the companies that could bail us out. And once that bubble pops, I'll show you next week how to look at that curve to know when it will pop. We have to look at the industries that will be affected. And if they get to a recession or rock bottom prices, we have to look to invest there because they're once in a lifetime opportunities. Last time it was banking and real estate, and that's why those companies went up. We are in a health crisis right now. So for my athletes and entertainers who've been chiming in and who like, yo, don't put my business out there, but King, I need some help. This plan is for you. So when Drake got his deal in 2016, this is what I would have done for him. So number one, whenever you get a big chunk of money, put 33% of that money into whatever asset you like. You know, I'm partial to Apple. And since you got the deal with Apple in 2016, it would have been a good place to invest, right? So that average price he would have got in before the 901 split would have been $93.20. So that would have put him right at 54,000 shares. 3 years later, he would have been up 104%. And this is a model you can use for yourself too. And then when we had that vicious drop in April, I would have had him put 2 million more in. So tell me what the percentage is of the original amount that he invested. So I want you to get 33% at first, and then I want you to add. So anytime we have another recession, any vicious pullback, and some of you are like, how do I know when a market drop? Whenever they're talking about investing on ESPN, you know things are really bad, right? And when everybody's in the barbershop talking about it, that's when the market has hit its lowest peak, lowest price. So now once you add that, the average price would have been 44.65. He would have had 185,000 shares. He would be up 457%, which would have put him right at 28 million. Here's the crazy part. That would have been 61% of what he made in 2020. Now, Drake's not hurting. He's been killing since so far gone. But for those of you that come into a windfall of money, you have to put that money into better companies than you. So for my business owners, athletes, entrepreneurs, you have to ask yourself, are you better than Elon? Are you better than Tim Cook? Are you better than the CEO of Google? If not, tie your money to them, and the generational wealth that we want to talk about frequently and have will be there in those.
Ian, do you mind repeating that? Because your mic went out for a little bit during that Drake segment.
Dang. Okay, let's run it back for the boy. Step one, anytime you get a bag or get any windfall, you want to put 33% of your money into a company that you love. Okay. You want to hold it for at least 4 years. So in this example, after 3 years, he would have been up 104%. I want you to go through the tech stocks that you love. Go to macrotrends.net and look every 4 years, how much is that stock up on average? If the company has been around for 20 years, you have enough data to know on average that over a 4 to 5 year period, most tech stocks are going to go up to 100 to 220%. Anytime we have a recession, I want you to take pretty much a third of that and put more money back in and then let the price run, because the same thing that happened in 2020 happened in 2008. And for those of us who missed out, like I did because I was afraid and didn't listen, I made sure in this recession that I took advantage of it. So when we have our next one in probably 2027, I want you guys to be prepared. So if you invest in any tech, you should expect over a 5 to 7 year period to be up about 500%. And like I said, if you do that, in this case, that would put him at like 61% of what he made in 2020. So tie your money to entrepreneurs that are better than you. And the reason why I bring this up, this is a blueprint for freedom for all artists and creatives. I'm tired of seeing our talent fighting on Clubhouse and YouTube and IG. And the root of that issue is not enough money. I mean, we saw it with Button last year, and the deal didn't go through with Spotify. But it's like, man, if some of that money would have been tied in to these same tech companies, and even with the thing that I loved about the collective movement of Reddit with GameStop, it shows the power. If we come together and decide to invest in one company, we can move the market, but we can also have influence inside of those companies as well. So for my creatives and artists, I want you to stop solely being artists and look at yourselves as an entity and invest in. So this is what, if you invest 10K a month in the market for your child for a 2-year period, this is what your returns will be. So screenshot this. And this is based off of a conservative return of 7 to 12%. Nothing crazy. No options, no trading, no futures. And for my business owners who've asked, how can I guarantee riches for my family for a lifetime? A simple calculation: find an asset that will give you 12% a year. And for those of you that are cash flowing very well, because some of you have had your best year ever in 2020, but I don't want you going to Vegas and blowing all of your money. So put 10 grand in. And then if you do this over a period of time, this is what the return will be off a conservative investment. So the next big frontier that I think that we will have to face on a commodity side is water. Michael Burry talked about this at the end of The Big Short, but I want to give you the ETF before anyone else. CGW is a ticker for the S&P Global Water ETF. Now, for those of you in 3 weeks who be like, hey, man, I got this ETF. Y'all got it here first, right? But as companies have ruined some of our natural resources, water is becoming more scarce, and water futures will become more popular over the next 4 or 5 years. I want you to be prepared. This too is at a high, so I want you to be careful. It's not the time to buy. If there's ever a drop, we'll say it here on the show, but please write this down. CGW. It's one of the most important resources that we have on our planet. Rashad, Troy, and I get probably 1,000 messages a month about what to invest in. So I'm going to give you the top Vanguard ETFs real quick. If you want to invest in a total market, VTI is the way to go. If you are looking for value, for my traditional investors, VTW is a ticker. Please screenshot this. If you're looking for growth, VUG. And if you think the rotation is coming, the small cap is going to take over, you can look at VB. So these are the main 4 that you can look at to invest in through Vanguard. Now, last week, I told you about the type of portfolios that you can invest in, but I want to give you 4 examples so it takes all the mystery out of it. So the first one, you have super safe. If you don't want to lose any money and you came into a bunch of money, you're like, hey, I don't want to risk anything. It's great that you guys love tech, but I want security. This is the one for you. Look at the ticker IEF, and you would do 100% of the capital here. So here are the positives. Virtually no losses. It only went down 2% last year. So when the world was on fire and everyone was crying about losses, you only lost a little bit. Over the last 10 years, it only dropped 7.6%, and that was in 2013. The bad part is it is slow as hell, and the returns are small. So you're looking at 4.4% growth per year, but this is good for people that are older. So if you're 50, 60, 70, and you want safety, you don't want to gamble, don't want a bunch of drawdown, this is the one for you. Number 2, high yield bonds. So you would do a 1/4 of each of HYG, AMB, SPLB, and JNK. The positive is it only dropped 11% last year, which is amazing. It averages about 6% per year. And the negative is because it's a bond, it's a little bit slower and not the best if you want growth. Now, this is the classic 80-20 that Rashad was talking about last week, right? So the upside is you get great growth. You're going to average about 11.86 per year, and the total return over 10 years was 111%, which is amazing. The negatives is it's super aggressive. In 2003, it dropped 31%. In 2009, it dropped 41%. And in 2020, it dropped 16%. So anytime we have an aggressive drop, if you have this mix, your account is going to get hammered. But if you stay in for that 5 or 10 year period, like we talked about, you'll be okay. And this is for those of you who want crazy growth, all tech. So in this example, I use the example of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and AMD. So if you started with 10 grand and held it for 10 years, it grew to 131,000 over a 10-year period. Amazing. The negatives are down 25% in 2018, and you have no downside protection. But those are the 4 main portfolios that you can do. You can do super safe, you can do mildly safe, you can do a little bit aggressive, and then you can do what I call like balls to the wall. Okay, my bad. Let's go through real quick fundamentals that matter. Lack of friction and ease of use. So this is a soft fundamental. So if you look at the difference between Robinhood and TD Ameritrade, TD Ameritrade is a better platform. Robinhood is much easier to use. So you want to look at products and services that you can log into quickly. Like, is it much easier to log into Walmart.com or Amazon to order? Amazon's a lot smoother. So that lack of friction makes it a hell of a lot easier to buy more, drive more sales, and have more recurrent customers on it. So when you guys are looking at a competitor, how easy is it to buy that product or service and or refer? And we told you this going into the election when everyone was asking what will happen. In the 6 months following an election, volatility falls. So we pretty much have until May. So everyone that's waiting for a pullback or another crash, it's probably not going to happen. Will we have some bumps in the road? Yes. For those of you that got killed in GameStop, you should have invested in a better company. I'm sorry. But the rest of the market is going to be okay. And not until probably May or June will we hit a little bit of a turbulence. And when we get to 16 on the VIX, that is a spot where we'll start to see extreme optimism, set an alert there. That's where I want you to taper off and stop buying into the market. So when VIX gets to 16, that's when you're going to see more people, even more than now, be like, hey, I'm an expert too. Let me guide you. And then you're going to see the market turn around and you're going to have the same face you did at 2:00 when GameStop fell apart, like Kodak did last year. I want to ask you a serious question. How long, and put this in chat, how long has the Buss family owned the Lakers? Mark Cuban graced EYO's podcast. Shout out to everybody at IU. How long has he owned the Dallas Mavericks? And I'm going somewhere with this. How long has Jerry owned the Cowboys? And since I'm in New York, how long has James Dolan owned the Knicks? Even though they've been terrible.
Too long.
Gosh.
You
know,
too long.
Get him out of here.
Cash cow, but man.
Where's Oakley at?
Where's Steph? Man, they fumbled. But the reason I asked that, if the richest people on the planet are holding companies for 20 to 40 years, I want you to write in chat, why are you afraid to hold a company for at least 5 years? When you have a good asset that makes you money, why would you sell it? You see Birdman and Wayne, when Drake got scorching hot, they didn't get rid of him after Take Care. They ain't say go to Rock Nation. Shout out to everybody at Rock Nation. They ain't want to let the boy go because you don't have many assets that are going to produce over and over and over again. And I know you guys get tired of us preaching this message, but what I don't want to happen is in 2031, you come up to Matt or Rashad, or Troy, and be like, damn, man, I should have listened. Because it may be the difference between you having stability in your household, your kid going to the college that you want to. And honestly, my grandmother used to tell me there's no romance without finance. It may make the difference whether you keep who you want to be with or not. So Shelby Davis started at 38. So I know you guys are like, hey, man, I'm older. Do I still have a chance? I want you to go Google his story. He died at 85 years old with 900 million. Go read every article on him. So this is the part when Troy say, do your research. I want you to go to page 10 of Google, 1 through 10, and print out every article and read. So starting late is not a liability if you hold it for a long period of time. Not starting is the biggest travesty. And here's the ultimate secret that I want to share with you. Not many people are able to do this, but if you can hold for long term and run a business, that's number 2. Number 3, swing trade. Number 4, know how to short-term invest. Number 5, this is really big. Can you avoid income creep? And as men, I know it's tough. But when you get your money, I don't want you to go get 9 chains like you, Boosie. Shout out to Boosie, Yellow Beezy. You know, I want you to put the money away and let the money keep working for you. You have to have the life insurance because I don't want us to do any more fish fries or
GoFundMe.
Yeah, GoFundMe's or Cash App.
Respectfully.
And then being balanced at the same time. Most people do one of these. I want you to write in chat which 5 of these can you do in combination. I will tell you, if you can combine long-term investing with running a business, with swing trading and short-term investing, there's not a on earth that can stop you. Only you can stop you. And I'm gonna say this too, and I'm gonna wrap up. For all of you that want study buddies, I'll walk you through my journey. I used to want a study buddy too. And I'm like, God, I wish somebody would rock with me and go through these charts and read these books. I didn't want the responsibility. On my own, if I'm being real, I wanted someone to cushion it for me, but no one's going to help you get rich. For those of you to trade, you want a study buddy. When you lose 28,000, your study buddy's not going to float you 14. Hey, bro, my bad. I'm going to pray for you. But you're going to cry yourself to sleep in those prayers. And guess what? When you make 28,000, 99% of you, no matter how solid you say you are, not breaking down 14. Moral of the story, do this shit on your own. You are responsible for your family. You know how goofy you look telling your kid, I could have did more for you, but did nobody want to study? Get to it. Do the research. Put in the work. This is the ultimate secret. Long-term business, swing trade, short-term invest, avoiding the income creep, right? So I have to put pants. I gotta have on hoop shorts today. So I spent on the pants, right? But we don't want to go crazy with the spending. And most importantly, we want to be balanced. So we have good health, time with our family, time with our friends, financial freedom, and being solid. So I love you guys. Thank you.
There you go.
It's a good word.
There you have it. There you have it. Yes. Technical difficulties will never be an issue to stop the show. We will keep the show going regardless.
Yeah, I'll keep the mic. Can we hear out of this mic? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can see me or if y'all can hear me.
Put this.
I am.
Great presentation as always. This time we got to actually witness it in person. Usually we're watching it over Zoom. So, yeah, great presentation. So, yes, we are going to keep the show rolling.
Yeah, you go right there.
No, put it up a little high.
It's gonna block my whole shot.
Everybody know you cheat.
I'm just saying, I can't. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk about GameStop.
Let's do it.
I want to talk about GameStop because this is something that is interesting on a few different levels. We saw something similar to this happen
Kodak
and with what was the other one? Hertz.
Yep.
Genius Brands.
Yeah. So I remember the Kodak one is pretty well documented that I played. We all played. Well, you played it, right?
Yeah, we all did the puts.
We did the puts, and I put the screenshot of the put on Instagram at that time. It was during the summer in July. And at that time, I remember we came on Market Mondays, and I said that, it reminded me of the crypto world a few years ago when the pump and dumps was running very rampant. And I said that, it's created a whole new market for hedging and puts because these things are so obvious that it's going to come down. So if you look at a stock like GameStop, in April, it was $2. And it peaked this week at $159. So that's a 7,850% rate of return in around 6 months. So if you would have had $10,000 in GameStop in April, you would have $795,000.
It's not a bad
a couple of days ago. That's crazy. So this is interesting on a few different levels because if anybody's not familiar with pump and dumps, it's when people, artificially inflate the price of a stock to make money, and then they sell a stock and then the stock goes down. The problem with pump and dumps is that a lot of people get hurt because they get in when it's too late. So by the time that they get in, they're already watching the roller coaster go up, and then they get in at like the last stages, and then once they get in, they're like the last people in, and then it gets dumped on them, and then they lose like 50%, 60%.
It's too late for GameStop now. I mean, interrupt you.
Like they did today.
It's too late. Yeah, it's too late now.
Yeah. So the question. So what is it? It's Wall Street Bets.
Yeah, Wall Street Bets and Reddit.
Talk about what Wall Street Bets is.
So I mean, if people are not familiar with Reddit, it's a subdivision of Reddit. So Reddit is almost like an open forum for people to discuss a multitude of topics. I believe the owner of it is Serena Williams' husband.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a forum to talk about a multitude of topics. Wall Street Bets is specific to stocks and trading, and so if you think of it, it's almost like a Twitter that's specifically for trading. And so this topic of shorting, this is how it started. Analysts downgraded GameStop, and they were like, "Yo, we're going to downgrade the price." And I guess it had been living on Wall Street Bets for a while, and they were like, "You know what? No, we're not going to let this happen. We're not going to let these sharks keep taking money out of the pool just because they want to short it." And so I guess as a community, people just started investing in it. And so if they don't hit the short price and the stock keeps going up, they can't make money, right? It's like if I have a put, it's a short squeeze. If I have a put at a certain price and there's a community of people that's raising the price, it never reaches the put number. And so that's what's happened with GameStop. It went up 50% Friday. Pre-market today was up 50%. I think in 2021, it's up 270%. Which is like crazy, right? Because if you think of GameStop, like nobody goes to GameStop. Wait.
That's not true.
Let me tell you what.
My son pressured me for 12 days
for the PS5
to go to GameStop after he had the PS5. He wanted to go to GameStop. He every single day for 12 days straight, he asked me to go to GameStop.
But here's the difference. So how does GameStop make money? Yes, they make money off of selling new games. That's how they make money, right? But their number one asset was reselling used games. And so for years, right, if I had a game I wasn't playing anymore, I can resell it. The markup price is ridiculous. I paid $59 for it. They'll buy it back for $20 and sell it for $50. You see what I'm saying? And when the platforms like Xbox and PlayStation started doing downloadable games, well, now you killed my business because now people are just downloading the game right onto their system because the hard drive is big enough. They have enough gigabytes. It's just like, yo, how are we going to make money? And so now when you walk into a GameStop, you'll notice that it's games, but now it's like Toys R Us in the back. It's t-shirts. There's figurines from the actual games.
You can also buy V-Bucks. You can buy the V-Buck card that's heavy in the streets right now.
Well, for those of you that games, do you buy more physical games or do you buy more off PSN? Some stuff is common sense. Like Turkey Leg Hut have more people in it than GameStop.
Turkey ought to be popping. Shout out to you.
It's like I went to GameStop and got a PlayStation controller for Xander. It was me and 2 employees. And I'm like, how many people? It's less than 100 people coming in. Per day.
And so if they not, so the question is like, from like not even the average investor is like, well, where are they making money, right? Because they're not even going to turn a profit until 2023. All numbers point to them not making a profit for the next 2 years. And so to justify it at 100, you said 159? They got up to 159.
159 this week, not today. This week,
I mean,
next week. Last week it was 159.
How do we justify it?
It's a pump and dump, obviously, but the greater question is, it's an interesting thing.
It's what
it's like. This is an interesting phenomenon that's taking place with the Hertz of the world and the Kodaks of the world.
159 for the 61.
And small groups of people. It doesn't even take a large group because with social media, small groups of people can make real ripples and no pun intended, and really push it up. So it's a very because there's laws against this kind of stuff.
That's when the regulation comes in. But you know what? It's I don't know if it's a pump and dump yet, right? Because that same group is looking at it like, yo, as soon as it gets close to those put numbers, we might invest in it again to keep going it up. And what happens is like when people have puts, they have expiration dates. And so like if your expiration date is like January 29th, like there are some, as long as I have it higher than the price, you never make money. And so like that might be.
And traders are coming in and out of it. Like
exactly.
No one's investing long term. Game like it's all day trader volume.
This is it's different. The retail investor has this is interesting. So regulations, go ahead.
And even it's like the stock went up 7,850%. Think about what the option did. The option probably up 70,000%.
I think somebody made a couple million.
So 30,000%. I think one kid made like millions of dollars off of like a couple $1,000. So it's interesting because there are ways to profit off of this. Like I said, the puts, to me, the obvious way is the puts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I did the put on Kodak. That was obvious to see. Anybody can see that happening.
If any of y'all make money when we call that, please put it in chat. So for the new viewers, don't think we capping.
Yeah. So the puts is the obvious way. If you don't get in on the upswing, the puts is the obvious way. And I mean, you can make money on the upswing too. If you're into these type of groups, this Wall Street bets, or if you form these kind of, like I said, I mean, you have to be careful because it's not the best way to go about it, in my opinion. It's extremely risky. It's teetering on being illegal.
That's good.
But I mean, it is what it is. People are making money on it. So
it brings me to a good point. If you guys are looking, because I know my guy is big on AMC right now, please write your targets out in advance. When they get to your level, or if you're using fibs or any extensions, once it breaks 150%, take profit. It's okay. Like, I know some of you think I don't like penny stocks, or like, for a bigger audience, it's some things I can't say. Because if I'm like, hey, get in at 20, and they're like, well, I'll put 20,000 in because you said it was going to go up and it doesn't work out, I don't want to be in trouble. I don't want to get a show shut down. But write your prices out in advance and obey them. Most of you're getting into some of these companies at low prices, and it'll go up and you won't sell, and then it'll drop, and now you're back and down, and then you end up going negative, and then you're pissed. Like, just continue to follow your plan, but write your profit targets out.
And free speech is illegal depending on who speaks it and what speak. Ask Elon Musk. Elon Musk got punished, I think $25 million, something like that. He had to pay a crazy fine when he went on Twitter and made some tweets about Tesla stock. And the SEC came down on him hard. That's what he said was, it's free speech. I'm an American citizen. I can say whatever I want, but you're not. You can't just say whatever you want because there's the SEC involved. How do I know this? Because I'm a financial advisor. A lot of people that have no inner workings or no knowledge of the financial industry just think like, no, you can say whatever you want. It's not illegal, but you actually don't know what you're talking about. You can't say whatever you want, especially if you're a fiduciary, especially if you work for a company. So what I'm saying is that's why I said it teeters. Because I mean, Troy can just say, I like this company. All right. But we don't know the inner work. We don't know that, if there's 100 people in the group, if one person works for the company, or if one person has an inside advantage on the company, and they saying this, and they're driving thousands of people to pump this stock, then that is illegal. So to say that freedom of speech is not illegal, it's actually just not true.
And freedom of speech only applies in your house and in small private. Like, go actually read what freedom of speech actually means. It doesn't mean you can say whatever you want to. And if you guys are getting any illegal information, please remember that time, like, I was on IG and that girl was like, yo, I work at a bank. And I was like, you never can touch that stock in a million years. So be careful, because you don't want the regulatory bodies coming down upon you for. And I mean,
you know who helped fuel this, man? A guy that we should be familiar with from The Big Short, Michael Burry.
Yeah.
Right? Like, him having invested in GameStop was like, all right, well, there must be something here.
Yeah.
He got it right before, he's got to be right again.
Yeah.
And so, like, that created hoopla. And then once a community gets behind it, it's an interesting story to watch, man.
It's a trash company.
We know that. No, we know that. I'm just saying the story itself.
The story is interesting, but also too, like, if you guys are looking at the same way you can look at a fund, look at the top 10 or 20 investors. You can go through their portfolio, but he's been sitting on the position for a while. I just want you guys to be careful to not chase and stay away from, like, if you don't shop at a store and you don't know anybody that's frequenting that store, leave it alone. Like, and retail is slowly dying anyway. Like, it's over for
a while.
Yeah, for majority of retail companies, they have to adjust. So
so that's the skinny on GameStop. You can do whatever you want. You want to participate in it? Hey, go participate.
I cannot wait to laugh.
Yeah.
Give me 2 more months.
You want to
participate? Gonna be back down to like 14.
You don't want to participate? Don't participate. We're not here to tell you what to do. Just provide information. So then the next one we want to talk about is, well, first and foremost, I wanted, when you talked about putting $10,000 a month, I've seen a lot of people like that. It's just an example. I forgot to mention that when you was talking about that. 10,000 can be 1,000, can be 500, can be 100.
Pick the amount for you.
Yeah, it's just an example. It's not to say that you have to invest. Obviously, we understand that the vast majority of people probably won't be able to put $10,000 a month into the stock market.
But some of you dudes blowing money on girls on IG.
OnlyFans
and getting them enhancements. And so you can do all that if you want to, but it's a dumb investment. I don't care how you mix it. And I have time this year. No, King, you can talk all you want to.
You said no, King?
Listen, you be in Atlanta, yo, baby girl, if I take you to here and all that, like, you don't have money to invest, but you have money to trick off. You pick. Like, some of you got a bag, but also behind the scenes, some of you like, this is the most money I ever had in my life, and I'm terrified now. And men are like, yo, I can't tell my wife I don't know what to do with it. Because what if I tell her and then she lose faith in me? Or I mess this money up and my wife is going to leave me. Like, you guys who make them comments online, you've never had anybody call you and cry about losing their kids or losing their family. It's cute. But a lot of you who are criticizing are not helping either, or taking them calls at 3, 4, 5 o'clock. And hey, yo, King, what I'm going to do, I'm going to lose my 3 kids and my wife leaving. That's real. But also, before you get the money, you have to have the plan. So for those of you who went to the league, right? Did you wait until you got to the league to start prepping at a high level, or did you do so in AAU, college, and then you made your progress? You can't wait until you're there. Like, it's too late at that point, but you guys can do whatever you want to, right? But pick the number for you that you can consistently invest, opposed to investing in other assets that do not
appreciate. Yeah. And another thing, when you were talking about the gaming stocks, you mentioned all of them. I saw some people had some questions about what about a Sony, but the ETF Hero has pretty much all of those.
All of them, yeah.
So if you're looking like, you know what, ETFs are my thing. I know Shadi loves ETFs. That's his thing. If you want to get all those gaming stocks, Hero is an ETF that has all of them listed. So, you know, do your homework on that one as well.
Yeah, Hero ETF. Ladies and gentlemen.
And even with Sony is not solely.
Right, exactly. A lot.
Like, going back to the streams of revenue. I want you guys to go to Sony. Put in chat, how many products does Sony have? You will be surprised. PlayStation is a hit for them. They need that hit, but it's not the sole business that they're in.
Right.
So
and it's the other companies, even like an AMD and other companies that's related to the gaming industry.
Video.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Okay, SMH. Whew. SMH. Whew. But let's talk about Apple. Let's talk about Apple.
My baby.
Can we talk about that?
yeah. Let's talk about it. Go ahead. I'll let you.
Yeah, man. So Apple, and it's crazy because we sat 4, maybe 5 weeks ago, and we went over a whole display of like what Apple is going to do in this first quarter. Right? We went through the charts. We went through estimates. We showed you first quarter is always the strongest. Yep. We even told you, look, they didn't report the iPhone, and the iPhone 12's numbers are outpacing what the iPhone 11 did. That wasn't part of the last earnings. Yeah. What do you think is going to happen in the first quarter? And so we prepared everybody for it. And today when people woke up, man, woo, Apple was like, it was like Christmas all over again. Man, my phone was blowing up, and I was just so happy that people had actually executed on some of the information. Yeah. And then you got a few people that didn't, but that's okay. Like I said, Apple's a strong company, but this is going to be the first time in the history that somebody has a $100 billion quarter. 100 billion.
Don't let that go over your head.
100 billion with a B in 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. Like, let that sit with you. That's $1 billion a day.
I know it's a hot take. Apple is the most undervalued tech company right now, hands down. If Tesla
say that they're gonna go crazy when they hear you say that. Apple, first and foremost, YouTube record.
Whoa,
we hit a record on YouTube. Shout out to everybody on the tube. Please hit the like.
I appreciate y'all dealing.
Please hit the like button. Let's get it going. So you're saying that Apple, who is the world's most famous company, the world's most valuable company, Market Monday's favorite company, Ian Dunlap's favorite company. Everybody has heard of Apple a million times. Is the most undervalued tech company.
It's at 142. Where's Neil? Where's Tesla? If Elon was doing 100 billion in the quarter, Tesla would be at 5,000.
Yeah.
Like, and look how much cash they have on hand. They can buy up a bunch of ancillary players still.
Right.
And then also with Tim Cook being at the helm, he doesn't get enough credit for driving that stock because, like, for those of us that love Steve on the creative side, Wall Street was not the biggest fan of him. So to stabilize the stock and then to drive that value without Johnny Ive being there, without some of like Angela, who used to be at Burberry, leaving on the retail side. Man, $100 billion in a quarter. Like, I don't think you guys realize
$100 billion a lot
in that quarter.
3 months, bro. And 100 billion is the conservative number.
Yeah.
There's some analysts who say like this could be like 110, 111.
But Apple is bigger than some countries.
Yeah,
fact.
That's a fact.
Cash
a lot of countries.
Like
most
countries.
Google
what the GDP of most countries are. You would be shocked how much money Apple has in comparison. Like, they have a kingdom.
And the good thing, I want you to talk about some options for Apple, because the good thing for me with Apple is that I have Apple in a variety of different ways. I have Apple, I have XLK, I have QQQ. So I own Apple in a variety. I have Apple options. I have a variety of different ways. So when Apple goes up, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
It drove NASDAQ up.
Yeah. So when I see that going up, it's like, all right, I know I'm gonna have a good day on 5 different levels, not just one level. But going back to our group chat, a lot of the guys in the group chat are heavy on the Apple's options. They going crazy. They going crazy. And Troy, you advised me. You told me about. I got into an Apple option. You want to talk about because I know y'all love Apple options. So why do you love Apple options so much?
I mean, number one, it's just the strongest company. And if we know that there's going to be growth, like I said, when we were preparing for Market Mondays 5 weeks ago, I had seen the pattern. I'm like, look, this is going to have a crazy first quarter in January. This will be a good time. And so a lot of us was like, yo, I need a short-term play. And we really don't do short-term like that. Most of the times we just do 2-year plays. And I was like, all right, well, let me look for a short-term. I want something after earnings. And so I put everybody, I was like, look, man, there's this April call that I really like. And when I look at options, I do something very unique that most people don't do. And that's, I look at the history of the option call. And like Shadi called me, he always calls me like, yo, tell me the history. And so when I look at the history, I can see where that option opened up at, if it's depreciated or appreciated, and what's a good time to buy. And so most people do that with stocks.
Yeah.
They'll say like, yo, it's at a high today. All right, I don't want to buy high. Or you know what, this is a good buy-in point, or the RSI is at a different level. So this is where I get to buy in. But when you're doing an option call, there is no chart for that.
Yeah.
And so there was a tool that you can use, and we're going to do this in our group chat. In our first group chat, we're going to do this. We're going to show you exactly how to open, where it opens at, if it's a good time to buy. And so I did that with an April call. And I called Jamal this morning, and I was like, yo, man, I thought you was going to give me a pair of sneakers. Yeah. He's like, man, what you just gave me, I should buy you a house. And so we're going to give you that game. But yeah, man, short-term calls on Apple, not really my thing. I was doing it as a favor. Long-term calls, we love, right? And so if we can calculate the past performance, we can predict the future success of Apple. And so I always ask people, do you think Apple's going anywhere?
Yeah, and then even on the fundamental side, the P/E ratio still low.
It's ridiculous.
Like, you guys can argue with me and say it's a one-trick pony, but it's like, man, Apple is Durant. I don't care what squad you put Durant on.
He's getting 30.
He's going to make them better. Like, they have one of the best economic moats. They have the best product, one of the best teams. Like, it's hard to make a case. We can do it like versus in chat. Give me fundamentally 5 companies that are better than Apple. Because if Elon had these numbers, he would run the world.
Yeah.
He would run the world. Like, Tesla is this popular, stock price is that high, and you factor in this is post-split.
Yeah, exactly.
The real value is like, they should be like a 2,400, but man, it's one of the greatest companies ever assembled. Like, we're watching history in real time.
So why not be part of it? You know what I mean?
Should be.
Why not be part of it?
Yeah.
It split, and people bought right to split when it was 100, when it got to 120. If you've watched this chart, you've seen that it's consolidated over the past, like mid-December to now. It's like, yo, it's still in the contraction phase with the Bollinger Band. So it's like, yo, it's going to go on a run. So that's why I always talk. I say, yo, Shadi's going to call me. You know what he's going to call me? He's going to ask me 10 questions before you make your investment. And if I don't got 10 answers, he's not going to make the investment. And so I know, like, yo,
he's a
hard sell. So I'm like, yo, these are the reasons why I'm doing it. And then he'll make the move. I'm like, all right, bet.
I come from a sales background, and I was always taught to kill the deal. You got to think as negative as possible. And if you can't kill the deal, then it's a good deal.
No, my dad used to always ask me, like, what if this goes wrong? What's your counter for that?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Like, prove to me your case study for why it should work. For those of you at home, I want you to go back I'll make you go back too far. 2005. And if you bought at the high of Apple every year, your homework for this week is calculate how long it would take for you to get back in profit. I think you would be astonished, even if you bought at the worst price, how well things will work out.
Just talk, because it's distracting. Everybody keeps. I just want like literally just talk as closer to the.
I'm gonna talk. Can you guys
don't hold it?
Okay.
Though.
Can you guys hear me better now?
Because this is like. Or I'm gonna let you just take my. You want to just take my seat?
Yeah.
Yeah, take my seat. Just talk over it as like how I was talking over it. All right. In-game adjustment. This is the first time ever I'm in the middle. In-game adjustment. Let's talk about Microsoft. This is another one. This is another one that we've talked about. Ian has talked about forever since he's actually come on the podcast 6 months ago. Apple and Microsoft was his two favorite companies.
Going back to episode 70.
Yeah. So they actually just had some good news as well. So who wants to take that conversation?
I'll just start with the upgrade, right? And so the analysts, a few analysts have picked, not even just a few, majority of analysts, if you follow their predictions and people will say, they'll take the predictions with a grain of salt, but majority of analysts have predicted Microsoft as a stock of 2021. Analysts have upgraded the price from 250 to 270.
I'm on at 283.
Right? And so like, if you know Microsoft, you know Azure is here, you know the cloud services here, you know what they're doing in gaming, you know what they're doing in computing. I mean, why wouldn't you love Microsoft?
Sometimes people just want stocks that will make them seem smarter. And I'm fine with that. I just want to provide. So for me, my end game is just to have security and be able to provide for my baby. Xander, if you're still up watching, go to bed. I love you. But I don't care about picking the stock from Nova Scotia that was brought here through a seed round. That's cute. Like, the thing is, like, when it's time to pay bills, I want to be able to pay them, give the PIN, security code, and it goes through. Everything else, all the other cute shit, I don't care about. So when you're looking at the biggest companies, like, it's the same thing. If like the Knicks could have drafted Jordan, maybe if Dolan was there, he wouldn't have, but it would have been the right thing to do. And that's why I always tell you guys, just draft the best companies. Like, you don't have to make this so complicated. Like, if you would not want to drive a Ford, it should not be the thing that you put in your portfolio. But also too, go look at how many revenue sources they have. For stock club members, I gave you guys a little gem too about like a percentage of something. Go look at that. Also, you have to go look at future prospects. So they may not be Tesla, but if they help GM get into
exactly, I was going to say
that is going to be a huge edge for them. And then also on the corporate side, like, people are not switching over to Macs at an alarming rate. People are still using either Docs or Microsoft Office for that. So a lot of the stuff is common sense, but we want to
overcomplicate
it and make it more.
Don't complicate the vibe. That's a fact. And what you would say, I was going to say the EV market too, right? Yeah. And so you can see some of these large cap companies are getting into the EV market in a different way, right? So like when you see rumors of Hyundai and Apple, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then you see like 2 weeks later, you see the GM and Microsoft move. Yep. You know what I mean? So that everybody's getting into the space, which is why we spoke about, think about the technology that it takes to have an EV. If everybody's getting into space, somebody has to make the parts for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the electric car situation, the self-driving car situation with Microsoft that came out. And once again, when Microsoft goes up, it's one of these things where it's not just Microsoft that goes up. QQQ goes up. XLK goes up. Franklin Diamond Tech Fund goes up. A lot of these different ETFs and funds that we spoke about. And this is why it's good to diversify and not put all your eggs in one basket, because it's like you can get exposure. And this is another investment strategy we talked about before, where you can take like an ETF or a fund and take the top performing ones and actually cherry pick. So you take a QQQ, well, QQQ, everyone is top performing, but you take like a XLK, and the top holdings of the XLK is like Microsoft and Apple. Yep. So you have XLK for broad range diversification, just in case anything can happen, just in case Microsoft or Apple, doesn't really perform at that highest level. But then you also balance it out with the individual stocks of Apple and Microsoft and Now you have Apple, Microsoft stocks, but you also have the ETF. The ETF is going to give you more broad range exposure and more diversification. It's a safer play where the individual stocks is just going to be more singular. So now you diversified your portfolio. You could do the same thing if you're doing stocks, if you're doing options, same thing. So that's something that I do personally.
Yeah.
I have XLK, but I also have Microsoft and I have Apple. I also have QQQ. So I like to diversify and not have just all singular stocks. I'm comfortable with the ETFs, but the big boys, the ones that's really moving the market, I feel more comfortable with that.
If you go look at what fund managers are investing in, it's an easy hack. So if I'm sitting down with Andy Reid, and Andy Reid's like, Pat Mahomes probably would be better than Brady. And if I have a chance to draft him, why the hell am I going to Weber State? Shout out to everybody at Weber State. And drafting their backup quarterback when Andy was like, yo, Pat is the guy. So I feel like sometimes we got to, at one point, talk about the self-sabotage that people do. Because not everyone invests to make money. Some people are doing it to gamble. But if you know that there's a clear player and these guys have billions of dollars in the market and they're looking at these top 10, and the top 10 holdings have not changed that much over the last 15 years. Why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? Why are you trying? But like, and on the other hand, you guys love Kathy, but hate Bill Ackman or David Tepper. And the performance has been somewhat similar, or like not listen to the advice that you've gotten here, or it's not as complicated as people make it. Like, look at the top 25. Get there. You don't want, like back in the day when they had like 6 rounds, and you don't want the 7th or best. So once you get to like 75 through 100 out of top 100, you don't even in Dow 30. Once you get to like the last 15, they aren't as good as the top 5 that are there.
Yeah.
So just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Or you can do whatever you choose to do and suffer that fate that you suffered this morning.
Even like ARK. That's why I feel more comfortable with ARK than Tesla. I mean, Tesla, obviously I believe in Tesla, but it's such a volatile situation where ARK, it has Tesla exposure, but it balances out with other companies. So, you know,
it depends on your personality type.
Yeah.
Because if you want aggressive growth, you have to pick, and you have to deal with the pain that comes with that. But when you go back and do your research and know, it's no different than like playing ball. Like if you know you're going to average 35, but some team is going to clamp you up, you only get 22. At some point, you're going to move back up to that average. But I think the most people, when they have fear, it's because they haven't done the research behind it. Like go on Finamize, go on Yahoo Finance, go on CNBC Pro, and it'll be able to tell you what the average returns are. So
yeah. And for those of y'all that are into ARK and into the ARK fund, the ARKW, the chain is finally extended. It's out to September now. So just a little tidbit. It is the 9 o'clock hour, and so we got to give the earnings. It's a big week, man. I'm excited for this week. I've been waiting for this week for a while now, like I said. So let's go over some of the earnings that'll be happening this week. Tomorrow morning, before the opening, we have 3M, Johnson & Johnson, and American Express. Johnson & Johnson is big, and they're trying to rush their vaccine to. They said that their vaccine might be one shot. So we'll see. That's a good one. That's different. All right. In the after closing, we got some big boys. We got the big boys. AMD will be reporting. Microsoft will be reporting, and we got financials. Capital One will be reporting after closing tomorrow. On Wednesday, Shadi's former favorite, Boeing, will be reporting. They had another accident. Prayers to everybody that lost somebody in that accident. After Wednesday's our day. At 4 o'clock, after 4 o'clock, Apple will be reporting. Tesla will be reporting. Facebook will be reporting. ServiceNow will be reporting. That is Wednesday after the bells closed. And on Thursday, we got some more airlines, American Airlines, Southwest, which we really like. McDonald's will be reporting. Always interested to see what they do. And Visa, one of the financials. And on Friday before opening, we got Cat, Honeywell, and Eli Lilly will be reporting. This is the first time that Honeywell's reporting since being added, right? Yeah, so we'll be paying attention to that on Friday as well. So that's the earnings for this week.
It's a big week for NASDAQ, for tech. It's a big week for tech for sure. So we're pushing towards 8,000.
That's crazy.
7,900 people on the check-in. Appreciate y'all.
Gotta get you to New York more often.
Yeah,
gotta slide through
for sure. If y'all can hit the like button, we greatly appreciate that. But let's get some questions if we can.
Try to hit on with the truth blazer before Tariq over, you know.
They were scared. They thought you was gonna wear the sweatsuit. They like, oh, he's in studio and he has a sweatsuit on. Like, nah, he had the blazer in the back. Don't worry.
Gucci.
Ash, you've been unmuted. Unmute yourself. What's going on?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Good, how you
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so real quick, I just had a question about what you guys were just talking about when it comes to not overcomplicating anything. Since I'm younger and I'm like, my goals are more aggressive, like I understand that Microsoft would be the smart choice to invest in, but if I like, I know you guys say don't name individual stocks, but is it all right for the purpose of this question, I just bring up one real quick? Or
Yes, please. Go ahead.
A SPAC. So like a SPAC right now that's coming out is a ChargePoint, which is like the leading leader in electric charging. Like, would you? Basically, my question is just real quick. Would you like I know Microsoft's the easy choice, but between a SPAC and Microsoft, you're saying just stay with don't overcomplicate it. I know that probably worded.
Between I'm gonna let Ian answer this, but between who's a star athlete that's in high school, right? Or like, is there like a Zion Wilton or something?
Yeah, we can. I mean, let's say LaMelo.
Yeah, Melo versus LeBron. You're saying?
But last year, LaMelo when he was in Australia, if you had to choose between LaMelo or LeBron James or Kevin Durant, right now today, who would you choose? The question is not whether LaMelo has potential or not, because he obviously has potential and he could potentially be just as good as them. Anything is possible, but there's a question mark, right? So you already have a proven. LeBron's already proven. KD's already proven. They're not gonna just become regular players overnight. So yeah, the upside potential is appealing for something that has never even hit the stock market, but don't go chasing waterfalls.
You probably never even heard the song.
You don't know that song, though.
Yeah,
I don't know that song.
How old are you?
19.
He ain't heard
Nah, he heard that. Nah. He gotta watch a Lifetime movie or something.
Yeah. I'll play
I appreciate you
advocate.
guys. Thank you.
No,
Sorry about
pause.
my question. Sorry about that.
Stay there, Ash. Stay there, Ash.
I'll play devil's advocate. What do you like about the company?
It's a leader in the charging space, and obviously, as you guys just talked about, EVs in the next couple of years are starting to are gonna blow off. And I've done the research. I looked at the financials. After the deal, they'll have about 500 million in cash. I've looked at over the next couple of years, it's supposed to grow 50% revenue each year, compounded each year.
Who are the top
This
two
is
competitors?
ChargePoint, Blink Charging, and EVgo, I believe.
Out of those three, which one? Out of those three, which one is better?
ChargePoint, because they have the most. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for, but ChargePoint is the leader right now in the market.
Okay.
And Tesla has their. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna just walk you through my assessment. Who has a better management team between ChargePoint and whoever you want to compare them to?
ChargePoint, their CEO has been with them for 11 years. Like, he's been through the very beginnings, and the other ones, they're not really. I haven't looked too deep in the other one's management, I'll be honest.
Okay, compare those. I will also look at profitability, also who's involved in a SPAC, also what the margins could be. If you want to be aggressive, since you're young, do you have kids?
No, I don't.
No, he's 19.
I mean, some
have. We know some.
That's a fact.
So if you don't have any kids, and they won't put you at any risk, I would say invest some money into it. Yes, Microsoft could be a safer pick, but if you can hold from 19 to 29, if you believe, here's my thing: if you die hard, believe in a company, I will go hard on it. If I could have got my family and friends to invest in Facebook, when I could have gotten a family and friends around, and I tried, my man, like I would be on the moon with Elon. But you have to make sure that you do your research to know without a shadow of a doubt. And I'll ask you this: if your life was on the line, and out of all the companies you can pick in the space, would it be that one? For me at the time, when Stevie G, when he introduced me to Facebook at Indiana University, I knew what a hit it was. I couldn't get anybody to raise the 120, so what it turned into like 45 million for me. So if your life was on the line, would you put a gun to your head and bet on that company? If not, it's not that good. I can argue Tesla hands down is 100 times better. But if you think it can be the future.
Yeah, and one thing, shout out to
Appreciate you, Ash.
Don't cut him off yet. Shout out to you because you've actually done you've
done a research.
You've done a lot of research.
Yeah.
I could just tell by the conversation. I could tell by the conversation that you've done a lot of research. So yeah, I mean, don't let me discourage you. Like if you actually, it sounds like you know a lot about this situation in space. You're young. So if you believe in the company, you know, just take a moderate risk. I wouldn't necessarily put too much money. You don't want to, you know, jump out the window, but you obviously have research. That's half the battle right there. It's not like you're just investing in something that you know nothing about. Just from having this few minute conversation with you, you obviously are very knowledgeable about what you're talking about, and you did your research. So yeah, man, kudos to you for that, for just being 19 and just being locked in.
Yeah.
That's extremely impressive, man.
Not there
Look forward to building with you when we have the EYL group calls.
Last question.
Appreciate
Ash,
you guys.
When is it supposed to go public?
February 11th, I believe. And sorry to, I know Guideline, can I just say one more thing before I go? I'm sorry I've been kind of clumsy. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, slide in real
quick. Just what Ian said about Tesla. The reason why I choose that over Tesla is because for Teslas to charge the Tesla car, to use a Tesla charger, you need to have a Tesla. But for ChargePoint, it can charge any car. Like I might have said that backward, but you get what I'm saying? Like Tesla, you have to have that product to charge. It's like iPhone in the bubble.
For a ChargePoint, though, what's the total addressable market that could use their products and services? For me, it would need to be 3x
all
of
electric cars. Like all EV Teslas can only use Tesla car. You get what I'm saying?
No, that's actually very good information because
Ash might have gave us some game.
That might be $1 million worth of game right there.
That's a fact.
Because
I'm doing my research right now.
Yeah, that might be some game because Wall Street Trapper, he came to us. We was with him. Shout out to Trap. We was with him a couple days ago in Atlanta, and he's like, "Yo, how you feel about buying a gas station? Like, we should buy a gas station." And I told him, I'm like, I'm interested in that, but I'd be more interested in buying an electric charging station. Like that's the way. That's really the wave. And what you said is actually something that resonates with me because you see Tesla's charging stations, and if Tesla's charging stations can only charge Teslas, we know that there's going to be more electric cars on the road than just Teslas. So eventually there's going to have to be charging stations that can charge any type of car, not just a Tesla. So yeah, you might actually,
Ash, you might got something.
This might be a Market Monday exclusive right here.
Ash, I see
we'll do a follow-up.
I see a lot of people saying that SBE is a company that it'll be merged.
SBE,
is that what it is?
Yes, it's SBE, a SPAC.
Okay.
SPAC.
I put it in my iPad, bro. I appreciate that. I'm gonna do the research on it myself.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate y'all.
Yeah, you never know. That's why you don't discount the youth. Never discount the youth, man, because a lot of them are doing the work. Exactly.
Yeah, they're way more tuned in.
They locked in.
Shout out to Ash, man. Yeah, that was a dope conversation that we had with Trap, and yeah, electric charging stations I think is the wave of the future.
All right, Troy, unmute yourself. You've been unmuted. What's going on?
Whoa, what's up with y'all?
What's going on, bro?
What's good,
man? Oh man, I feel like I mean my celebrities, man. How y'all doing, Kings?
We good, man.
We good. How you?
Great first name.
Man, Troy, let me tell you something. You have an outstanding first name as well, man. Your mother and your father, they came up with the best name for you, my man.
Wait, where you from? New Orleans?
You already know. New
Orleans, man. You can always tell New Orleans. Whenever New Orleans talk, you already know New Orleans is in the building, man. Bayou Classic, man. Shout out to New Orleans.
All day. Well, I want this, man, give my blessings to y'all, man. I've really been listening to y'all since last year. I'm on a great path on this financial literacy, so I just want to thank y'all for that. My question is, I got invested into the stock market last year, and I had just transferred over to an employment. I had rolled over my A to TD Ameritrade, and it's just I don't know when to attack, and I'm just trying to figure out when should I go ahead and purchase some stocks from my IRA.
So you have money sitting, but you're not sure like when it's like double dutch. You don't know when to jump in. I'm assuming because the market's high right now, you don't want to jump in. And then as soon as you put the money in, the market goes down. That like what your thought pattern is?
Yes, correct. You are correct.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a valid point because it's like, the market is high. One strategy that you can do is you can dollar cost average. So a lot of times people think dollar cost averaging is only for like monthly, but you can dollar cost average on a lump sum. Mm-hmm. So like just for round numbers, if you have, let's say $10,000, right? And you have it in an IRA, but you have it in a money market. So a money market is like when the money's just sitting on the sidelines. So what you can do is you can put $1,000 a month from the money market into the stock market. So your dollar cost averaging. So you're not putting the whole $10,000 in all at once. So you're putting $1,000 in every single month. So the theory behind that is that, like, if the market does go down, then you'll have dollar cost averaged into the market. You would have eased your way into the market. So like I said, that's just you can do that in 3 months, you can do that in 6 months, you can do it in 2 months, but that's one way to go about it, because a lot of people, and that's actually a good question, because a lot of people, whether it's their retirement account or whether it's just a lump sum of money, they have it and they don't know when to get in. So, one way you can wait, or you can just jump in right now, or you can actually dollar cost average and put a portion of that money in every first of the month for the next 10 months, the next 12 months. So
yeah. And to make you feel calmer, as much as I love getting sharp entries, the length of time in the market matters more than entry point. So if you're going to hold for a long period of time, and you have to, I want you to answer here, but you have to pick whether you want to get rich or if you really want to have real freedom. If you want freedom, if you hold for a longer period of time, if you buy quality, you'll be okay. If you want to just flip to flex, which is nothing wrong with that, you have to do a little bit more research to focus on when to get in. But if you're holding for a good period of time, you're good. What stocks are you interested in?
What stocks? So I'm gonna be honest. I know you said something about AMC, so I have.
Don't touch
AMC. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't touch AMC.
Don't do that, Troy.
Well, no, I'm not gonna touch it. I mean, this was like, that's when I started in, like, when March, when the market was down, and I brought some like AMC stock, Dave & Buster stock.
What price you get at Dave & Buster's?
Ooh, man, let me look at it right quick. I think it was
play,
like,
right?
Like 20 Dave & Buster's eat.
Hold that.
35. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm holding that Dave & Buster's. I ain't letting that go.
Hold that. Take half. So for those of you in play, take half off at 50, half off at 62.38, and you guys will be good. If you didn't catch it on the replay. But half and half there, and you'll be good. But if you're in play now, hold on to it.
Yeah, I'm in that thing.
I appreciate you, bro.
Say one more thing?
What's good?
So I have something called Buzzing Business. Buzzing Business is a platform where I interview small Black-owned business in the New Orleans area. I would just like for y'all to just check that out. It's the bee with a beard on it.
Drop it in the chat, bro. I'll definitely check it out for sure. Support Black business. I support all Black business.
That's a great lesson too, to always plug your business. So for those of you that are afraid,
if you don't talk about your business, nobody else is.
That's a fact. Yo, appreciate you. Cut
you off. So good job.
Shout out to the NO. Drop it in the chat, bro.
Got it right there.
All right, let's
appreciate
Janet. Janet, can you put that in YouTube also? Thank you.
Yeah.
And Ian, they said Ian's not annoyed. Ian is a ghost. If you ever watch Power, you know that Ghost. You never really seen Ghost smile too much. You never really.
I'm
Ghost.
never annoyed. This is my face. like I'm jovial. I just got natural like male resting bitch face. So I'm sorry.
Resting bitch face.
Yeah. So whatever the male version of that is, like mean ass face. So, but on the inside, I'm lit up. Like
he's happy.
He's smiling on the inside.
He got here at 3:00. He was ready.
I'm growling like this.
Tia, what's going on? Unmute yourself. You've been unmuted. Oh, Tia.
Five.
Why you had to do me like that?
4, 3.
Fridge break. Let's go to another lady. Let's see who we got. Is this Eve?
Don't none of y'all put resting bitch face in my comments. I'm not letting it ride.
Is it Ive or Eve? I'm not sure. Unmute yourself. You've been unmuted. What's going on? Oh man, the lady said I'm making them nervous. Maybe.
Come on here with some fire.
She's gonna unmute it later. All right. Well, I'm gonna keep going. Dwayne, we coming to you. Dwayne, unmute yourself. You've been unmuted, sir.
Where's Matt at?
Matt went upstairs. He never came back.
Never came back.
The
That's
food
crazy.
must be ready.
8,000. We hit 8,000 for the first time ever in market.
Yo, breaking news alert.
Take a screenshot.
Bro,
of
let
that.
me get some claps, bro. Yeah, sure, give me some claps. Live studio audience. 8K on y'all. Dwayne, what's going on, bro?
What's going on with y'all fellas? How y'all doing?
Everything good.
Good. How you, bro?
I'm doing all right, man. I've been following y'all for a little while, man. And definitely I appreciate y'all for doing everything that y'all doing. I've learned a ton of information, man, since I've been following y'all. So kudos to y'all. Shout out to EYL and the whole family. But the question that I have, I am trying to figure out what are all of the top ETFs, top growth ETFs to get into. I'm really interested in trying to, go really aggressive or for long term. I just
you have a list of the ones you like so far?
Say again.
You have a list of the ones you like so far?
I have ARC. I have QQQ. Trying to find some other, really good ones to jump into that's gonna, provide me with some really good massive growth.
I mean, we talked about iBuy. Yeah, that's a big one that had a stellar year. Yeah. So that's a huge one.
TQQQ is good if you can handle the aggressive nature of it.
Yeah, ARCW has been ridiculous. So
SMH has been ridiculous.
SMH has been one of my favorites.
Is my favorite already.
Yeah, you got good ones. Dwayne, I would use this resource, etfdb.com, etfdb.com. And since you have ARC, I would type in ARC. And then I would go to performance, right? There's a tab that says performance. And when you look at the performance, it'll show you how it's performing, right? Itself. But if you click detailed analysis, right? You click detailed analysis, a link is going to pop down with how everything that it's around is performing as well. And so that's like kind of the digging into the rabbit hole and going deeper into the rabbit hole. And so when you see those other ones, like you might see something like an iBuy that's probably number one over the past 26 weeks. Or a SMOG or ARKW has performed at a tremendous rate over the past 2 years, right? That's another way to find some really strong ETFs that have performed well over a duration of time.
How aggressive are you trying to get?
So just doing some research on like IRAs, different types of IRAs. I know that like the maximum is like six grand a year that you can put into any of those. And this is kind of a segue into another question. If I can put in 10 grand a year just based off of my income currently, I think that would be, relatively fine, but I anticipate my income going up over the next few years. So gradually I want to continue to increase that, but starting off between 6 to 10 grand annually.
Can you handle a 50% drop? No, the answer is no then. You have some great ones already.
The silence. Yeah, you have good ones already, bro. Yeah. QQQ, I can't say that enough, man. It's averaged 20% a year for the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. That's a great, ETF right there.
If you want a more aggressive one, I just gave it to you too. So, but the volatility and the drawdown is a little bit higher, but if you can hold it for a 2-3 year period.
Yes, I see some people asking what etfdb.com.
Yeah,
10 is another one.
Yes,
I ain't catch that one you said, Ian.
TQQQ.
Oh, TQQQ.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint of heart. I try to say I'm not. It's for entertainment purposes only. I need the glasses, but if you can handle, kudos to my guy Kenyatta. For those of you that have been in TQQQ, you know what it can do. You have to wait for a pullback, a severe pullback, or like economic depression. But if you can load up, then the returns are amazing.
Word, definitely. And I appreciate y'all, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate it. We had 9:30. What you wanna?
You wanna do 5 minutes over, or you wanna go chill?
You want to take?
I want to go chill. So, drop Cash App since we got to 8 grand. Earners first, then
Cash App,
then YouTube, and Red Panda fam. So if you guys on Stock Club, put Red Panda and then yours.
Cash App your life away.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Oh boy.
Cash App your life away, man. We gonna make it
After
rain.
this, what we're gonna start doing though, I'm gonna start buying you guys gift cards to stockpile so you can invest it directly into the market.
You can buy a gift card to Mike.
Yeah.
Can buy socks.
Yeah.
Okay. Bet.
So this is the last time y'all can get the money up front.
That's dope. That's
So
dope.
those enhancements that you want to help.
Yeah, Janet, help us out, Janet.
Janet, can you take a screen? Pick a couple people from the Zoom, and then
Ari from Atlanta, you gonna help her out this week.
we'll take
Stockpile after this though.
we'll take a screenshot of YouTube. And yeah, man, I'm glad that we reached a milestone today of 8,000 for our very first
Live
with everybody here.
Yeah, in person
Situation. I'm glad that was able to happen. So.
And I'm gonna work on the facial expressions. I haven't got down how to smile. I missed that season of American Next Top Model, but the next time I come back, it'll be a little bit better.
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us through it all, right? Technical difficulties is not stopping anything, man. So we appreciate y'all. Breaking news alert, 8K. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah. And a lot of people are asking about the sweater. Obviously, tomorrow marks a year that we lost the great Kobe Bryant. So just a little homage to him.
Where'd you get that from?
Actually, I forgot, man.
That's
I got
cold.
it last year.
Why didn't you get him one?
Yeah. I mean, Ian, my fault, Shotty. I can't even. My bad. I should have got it for you. But yeah, now it marks a year to the day of a tragic loss for him and his daughter and the families that were lost in the helicopter crash. So yeah, just prayers go out to the Bryant family and all the families that lost somebody in that tragedy. So we got Kobe here, we got some Kobe's up there, and we always keep the Kobe book up just because what he meant to us as somebody to look up to. But even in the business world, he was one of those people that we definitely just knew that we were going to be able to speak to in the same vein as Nipsey Hussle. So to lose both of them in a 2-year span was tough, man. And last year we were actually in Atlanta as it happened.
Yeah, we was in an event. We had an event.
We actually had an event.
We had an event.
Yeah.
And, so
that crushed my soul.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to Kobe and Nip. That's off the rip for sure, man.
Kobe low key was about to be one of the greatest entrepreneurs of all time.
Yeah, man. He's business mogul.
Yeah.
Business mogul. It was like I said, man, it hurt. So yeah, that was tough. It was tough. I remember him playing. Like, I don't get emotional a lot, but I think his last game was the last time I got super emotional.
Yeah.
And so when that happened, it was like we were in a moment. It was just like it almost felt unreal.
Yeah.
So it's a year already, and it's tough.
Rest in peace, you guys. You can stop the Cash Apps thing. I think we have enough now. We can stop the Cash App.
Trying to get Ari her body done. If there's an Ari in Atlanta, I don't know you. It's just a name I picked. So don't hit Rashad like, why are you talking?
Tell him Tay is the best.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Atlanta, man. We had a lot of powerful connections that we made out there. A lot of great content that you'll be seeing in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, shout out to the city of Atlanta. It's a second home, quickly becoming a first home for us. We spend a lot of time in Atlanta. So
yeah.
Ty, what up, man?
It's a big movement out there.
Yeah. They doing a thing out there in Atlanta. Doggy Style or All Eyes on Me.
Glasses Malone. I know you're gonna say Snoop. I love you, but All Eyes was incredible.
I think Doggy Style wins.
What?
By a landslide.
I don't know landslide.
I'm not gonna disrespect Snoop.
That
Doggy Style album is different, man.
I wish we could play music on YouTube.
Who you think?
Doggy Style? Who you got?
I'm not in this. I'm not on here. All right. Doggy Style wins. Doggy Style wins.
A classic though.
Both classics.
Shout out to Snoop, man.
Yeah.
And shout out to his son, man.
Big followers.
Big supporters of Earn Your Leisure. Yeah, man.
Don't be surprised you see the Dogfather.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised you see the Dogfather.
You never know.
You never know.
Anything is possible these
days.
days.
My mom was playing gin and juice with me when I was a kid. Why are you playing that for that boy? We was riding, boy. Shout out to everybody in Northwest Indiana. We was on Klein getting to it, playing gin and juice back to back like 22 times.
Gin and juice.
Yeah, that was
a legendary situation.
Gin and juice. Ain't no fun. There's a lot of hits on that.
Too many. Classics.
You can't even, let's retract that.
Too many classics, man. before we end, we had a question that we want to ask the public. Would you rather lose? I'll ask you again. Would you rather lose your sense of taste, or your would you be colorblind? Colorblind, or you can't taste anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna be contrarian and say neither. Do I have to answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd rather be colorblind.
Colorblind.
Really?
Yeah.
What would you rather be?
I'll lose my taste.
I'll lose my taste before I get colorblind, because
Yeah.
you can't know what you're wearing.
Yes, you can.
No, if you're colorblind, you can't. You'll be wearing pink, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. Like you be mismatching colors, crazy.
That's why they look like that.
Matt said colorblind.
Now he's colorblind.
What would you do?
Yeah.
Taste,
Yeah.
taste buds.
Colorblind.
The taste
Maybe
buds.
because I'm blind already.
Taste buds got to go. Taste buds got to go.
That's
Adios.
we gotta go.
Yeah.
We ain't even do chart time. Oh, to my guy who brought up that company, I'm gonna do some research on it, and we'll come back next week and talk about it. And
For
I'll
sure.
give you a case study on if it's good. Y'all want to stay on longer, but
This guy's crazy.
I want to get invited back. So
Oh man.
can't do it.
Nah, we gotta do something more. But maybe before you leave New York, we can do something bonus, like a quick bonus round, lightning round.
That'd be dope.
Ooh.
That'd be dope.
Maybe we can do something.
If you guys want us to do that, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know. We got them.
Yes,
here
yes, yes,
for-
yes,
for a couple
yes,
days.
Y'all so dope. I love y'all.
Hell yes.
Yeah, but thank you. Huh?
A round of applause for our first.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody, thank you for supporting Market Mondays. Thank you for making this a memorable moment for us. Thank you, Ian, for actually coming
Thank you for inviting me.
and being here. Hopefully, we can do more of this. We look forward to this. And don't forget that this will be on all podcast outlets at midnight Eastern Standard Time. If you want to listen to the audio, and we got a lot planned for Market Mondays. This is just the beginning. So once again, guys, stay tuned. Thank you for your support. Repost it, share it in your stories,
I appreciate it.
and tell a friend to tell a friend. Peace. We will
Peace.
see you guys next week.
Love is love, y'all.